going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another solo Leveling Arise video. Alright guys, it's your boy Payne, and we got ourselves a brand new beginner/veterans guide. I'm gonna make one anyways because I figured, you know what, 6-month anniversary is coming up, and that's a huge time for a lot of brand new players to join. Not to mention, Steam is still scheduled to come out, which is going to be now pushed down to 2025 with the release of the brand new anime season 2, as well as the console release in 2025 for I think it's PS5 and Xbox. It could just be PS5. I'm not 100% sure. But console release is still scheduled, so I think they're going to still go ahead and do that. Now, this beginner guide is going to cover a lot of different topics, so get ready to absorb a lot of knowledge. It's going to help you guys kind of steer you in the right direction in terms of what to do with a lot of your resources, how to get a lot of those resources, what's the best way to level up, what's the best way to use your summons, your essence stones, etc, etc, etc. We're going to talk about what to summon for, what the best packages are. So whether you want to be free to play, pay to win, I'm going to cover all of that stuff, and we're going to talk quite a bit about the characters and SJW himself. So strap in, guys. This is going to be a bumpy ride, but it's going to give you guys what you need if you plan to be a brand new player or even as a veteran, things to look forward to. Okay, so first off, before we continue with the game itself, the first thing you want to do is go find yourself a supporting content creator. So go support your boy Payneblade. You guys can jump on here, support. We're #1 currently. I want to maintain that way. This will allow you, when a brand new season of Content Creator Plus comes out, for us as content creators, as long as we do our missions, which I do all the time, one of the first ones always, to give you guys as supporters some codes. Now these codes can range from essence stones to tickets to gold to etc, right? There's a plethora of rewards that come out every season, usually 5 codes. So get on there first and foremost and go support a content creator. Hopefully me is the one that you choose, and then that way you're guaranteed that. So that's #1. Get that out of the way, and now we're going to jump into the game. So the first thing that's going to happen when you do the game is you're going to jump in and do a tutorial. Get that tutorial out of the way. You're going to get a few summons. Use those summons to summon wisely. I would re-roll if you want to. It's up to you if you want to do that or not, but the re-rolling process is not very lengthy. After the first time you finish the tutorial, you can come back and redo that tutorial anytime. Do not, and I'm saying this, do not do it on PC. Do this on mobile or BlueStacks. I have a link in my Discord or in my video in the description. You can click on BlueStacks, download this game, complete the tutorial once, summon the first batch of summons that you can, and then get yourself the best possible draws that's available. Okay, so first off, let's talk about the different kinds of draws. I want to do this first. So there's the rate up draws and then the custom draws, and now there's a brand new weapon draw. This has just been released like a month ago. Rate up draws are going to be your limited characters. Okay, so this here is currently GINA. GINA is the current rate up character. As a brand new player, you do not want to go for GINA. Avoid her. Save all of your essence stones and all of your limited currencies for the next big character that's coming out, which may end up being Isla, but more importantly, Thomas Andre, right? With the 6-month anniversary, we're hoping that's when he drops. So that is the first thing you want to do as a free to play player or a brand new player, or even as a whale. You want to save up, right, for the next character. Now, if you plan to whale heavy in this game, please spend responsibly. Then you want to go for every character possible because they're going to eventually be useful in some form or fashion. So for now, as a free-to-play player or a brand new player, you want to save for Thomas Andre or Isla when she comes out next, which will be in the next 6 days, and we're going to see whether she's worth it or not. Now, for custom draws, okay, right here, these are going to be the ones that you're going to summon on the most. Now, in the beginning, when you're a brand new player, your majority of your custom draw tickets are going to come from your story mode. So the first thing you're going to do, guys, is after you're done your re-rolling, is you're going to go in and do story mode, but we'll talk about that very shortly. Now, here is what you want to summon on, okay? This is very important. A lot of people are going to ask this question. There are 3 big characters, let's just say 4 big characters that you definitely want on your list. So first off, you're going to get Woo for free for logging in. That is still one of the perks of logging in. For 7 days, you're going to get him, and then you're going to get his weapon for 14 days. Super easy. He's a great breaker now. He used to suck. Now what you want on this list is a really good DPS and a supporting character plus some weapons. So here's what you're going to want to pull if you're going to pull as a brand new character. Mirai, okay, that's going to be your #1. Cha is going to be your #2. All right, these are the 2 main DPS in the game currently. Alicia is a #3. You can put her in there. She's the reason why you don't want to get her now is because the new raid, which is the Workshop of Brilliant Light, is actually resistant to water, but she still will carry you completely through the game. So these 3 are going to be your major ones. And then the last one here, I would even suggest getting Go Gun Hee. And then if you decide you don't want Alicia, the next one here I would recommend here would either be Mei Lin or Min. All right, these are going to be, in my opinion, the best choices for characters. All right, get those. Now, I personally like to balance things out, but because now we have a weapon banner, you can do one of two things. You can go all characters here for now to get your characters, and yes, go for dupes. You can watch any video on any of these characters to see where, quote unquote, the sweet spot is to stop for free-to-play players or dolphins or whales. I've done them all, and you guys can see where you should get dupes for. I wouldn't stop until I get the specific dupes for these characters, and then you can move on. But those characters are for sure right now. If you're going to go for weapons, there are 3 universal weapons, and then there's the best weapon in the game. The 3 universal weapons are as follows. The Plum Sword, which you definitely want to get to A5, which is your advancement 5. That's how many dupes you want. The Moonshadow Daggers, also advancement 5. The Grimoire, also advancement 5. These are considered the universal weapons. They're used for every bit of content, and they are the best buffing / debuffing weapons for every character, including SJW. Now, in terms of the best weapon in the game, currently as it sits, it's going to end up being the Demon King Daggers, aka I like to call them dicked. Your account got dicked when you get them, all right? So Demon King Daggers, you go to A3, advancement 3, or advancement 5. These are the best weapons you can choose. Now, you can do one of two things. You can put characters here and 2 weapons, so 2 characters, 2 weapons, or if you're comfortable waiting, you can put 2 weapons here as well too. So you can do, for example, Moonshadow Daggers and Plum Sword here, and you can put Grimoire and dicked here instead, right? Split it up, and you get yourself double chances to get some weapons. Now, keep in mind, SR weapons for brand new characters will carry you heavily. SR weapons are fantastic, as a matter of fact. So Westwind, for example, A5 Westwind up to A10 Westwind, you can carry you through the entire game. You don't need any other weapon in the game but this one SR weapon. Keep in mind also, every weapon for SJW has skills. You want to level up the ultimate skills always, especially your main ones, to the max level when you can. Get these up as well too. They will also increase your power. We'll talk more about power as well too. Also, a couple more honorary mentions for SR weapons. Orb of Avarice, one of the best weapons in the game. Reroll, one of the best weapons in the game. Grimoire, fantastic weapon. Kasaka Blades, great weapon. You get a couple free ones. The Light Sword, the Lustrous Dragon Sword, also great weapon. You get a couple free ones from the challenges. Speaking of challenges, as a free player, what you're going to want to do after you're done re-rolling is complete these challenges, and we'll talk more about those, okay? So those are the characters that you want to go for. Try to at least get 1 or 2 of the characters, or 1 weapon and 1 character, and your re-rolling is done. You're done after that, okay? Now, what do you do with your Essence Stones? Your Essence Stones, guys, you don't use unless you're using them on your custom rate-up banners, okay? The limited banners. Those are the only times you want to do it. Now, the way the 50-50 works, I'm going to explain this to you, is the way 50-50 is you can have a 50% chance of getting the rate-up character when you get an SSR, or a 50% chance to get any other character from the rate info list. So you can either get her, or you can get all of these characters. Once you get another character, you are guaranteed the rate-up character the next time. So it's 50-50. But it's different for the custom draw. You can still lose a 50-50, which means you have a 1 in 4 chance to get the you get 1 in 4 chance to get the character you want, or you can lose that chance. So if you lose that chance, you get something that's not on your list, the next time you're guaranteed something on your list, but it's not necessarily what you're looking for. It could be any of these 4 things, right? So let's just say you want to get Maylin only, but these are other things that you may or may not really want. She's really your target. It doesn't mean you're going to get her. You still have a chance to get one of these 3 things, okay? So the custom banner is a little bit more difficult to fine-tune getting what you're looking for. That's why whenever you have a rate up of a character that you really want, this is where your focus really will lie, and this is where your Essence Stones are going to come into play. So make sure you're using only Essence Stones for these banners. Never this banner, unless you're super desperate. All right? I'm going to talk more about that in a second. All right, so that's what you want to do with Essence Stones, guys. Ideally, that is the only thing you really want to use for if you're free-to-play players. If you're pay-to-win players, that's a whole different story. It's up to you, okay? So let's go on to the next thing now. What do you do when you start the game? The main focus, your number 1 main focus, guys, is going to be story mode. Get through story mode as far as you possibly can go. The story mode has a crazy amount of things for you, okay? You can see my 100% normal right here. The reason why you want to do story mode is whenever you complete story mode, right, you're going to, number 1, get yourself Essence Stones for every single story mode you complete, whether it's a story or an actual battle. Always get them done. What you always want to do as well is push to 3 trophies as much as you possibly can, because that will also give you guys not only 2 custom draw tickets for completing this whole thing, but an extra 2 custom tickets for completing at 100%. So you can get yourself 4 custom tickets per side story, per chapter, per mode. It's a lot. And I mean, they give you a lot of resources. You guys will not need to buy for quite some time, but if you want to, you can, of course, right? It's up to you. Again, just please spend responsibly. But you can see here, look how many side chapters there are. Look how many chapters there are. All of these trophies matter quite a bit, and I'll talk more about the reasons why trophies matter outside of getting the full rewards of Essence Stones. You guys can see, though, if you 100% everything, you will get yourself a lot of black tickets. Now, at a certain point, when you finish Chapter 8, I believe, which they've nerfed a lot of it, you will unlock, I believe it's Chapter 8, don't quote me on that, but I think it's chapter 8. You will unlock hard mode. The moment you unlock hard mode, guys, start doing hard mode. It will give you the most amount of experience points you can get, which means when your account is stagnant and cannot get any more EXP, this is where you want to go to maximize the amount of EXP you get. So push this as soon as possible. And that also means do not skimp on side chapters. Quick note on side chapters. Whenever you do a battle that is a side chapter, you are forced to use the SR or SSR character that the side chapter is about, plus your 2 other characters of your choice. Keep in mind, some battles will ask you to do the following. Kill a boss with a water elemental hunter. Doesn't mean you have to use the SR or SSR character that's required. You can add another SR character or SSR character that is water that's stronger for you and finish the boss with those. So make sure you look at every single requirement and try to get that 100%. You can get yourself hundreds of summons just from doing this, and then eventually when you've completed this, you will also unlock reverse mode, which is again more things to use. The difference with hard mode and normal mode and reverse mode for all you new players is reverse mode is all the same chapters done, this time by only using hunters. SJW is not involved at all. All right, so those are the modes. So that's the first thing you want to do, guys. Put all of your efforts into completing story mode. Push as far as you can. Not only the story mode give you all those resources that you need, but it also unlocks a lot of these game modes that are currently going to be locked behind levels and completion of those story modes. So let's talk a little bit about these, okay? First off, gates. We're gonna go into gates. Gates are super important. You're gonna get 15 keys every single day. You're gonna start with 11, I believe, to start with, or maybe 12. I don't remember what the beginning starts like, but it's gonna be less than 15. This will increase as your reputation increases, and I'll talk more about reputation after this, but you essentially wanna start doing your gates. Gates are very important. You must get them done. They will give you a massive amount of EXP. Now, you can see here there's gate missions, right? Active bonuses for the first little while are going to give you EXP 3 times. That's bonus EXP. You want to complete 3, 3, and then 4. So in total, that's 10 gates to get yourself the bonus EXP. Every gate will be rated from, I believe it's D rank? I'm forgetting what the lowest one. I think it's D rank all the way to S rank, okay? And there will be different colors. So blue colors are essentially going to give you a specific amount of drops, and they're the easiest ones. Blue colors usually are used to farm yourself some enhancement chips for weapons and armor, as well as some of these shadow stuff. Purple ones are usually for blueprints and some extra little cubes here that allow you to evolve your weapons, okay? Red ones are the hardest ones and usually give you guys the weapon skills, some more traces, give you guys higher end armor, plus gives you guys some rune fragments. And then there are other ones that are specifically, I believe, yellow, which are specific for gold farming. So you definitely want to do some gold ones as much as you can. Real quick note, when you are finished a gate, all right, you're going to have something called a mining section called gate mining. This is where you want to actually mine all of these. When you mine gates, you're going to get other resources such as these lower tier mana crystals, some gold, and then if you mine A and S gates, you're going to also get yourself some essence stones, which is very important. So ideally you want to do A and S as much as you possibly can to get yourself some extra resources to add to it. Make sure you always do this. As you level up your mining, you're also going to get extra bonuses. So you see over here, for example, level 1 gives you gold acquired, level 2, etc. Eventually, when you get over to level 11, you're going to have an extra mining slot. So you start with 3, you're going to end up getting 4, and then you can actually purchase another mining slot for up to 5 if you confirm for the extra 2,000 essence stones. I don't personally need it or do it. And then if you also have the pay to win package, the subscription, you can it'll auto mine for you and also give you an extra slot as well. So there's different ways to do this, and we'll go over the pay to win aspect of it very, very soon. Okay, so that's very important. Now, as you do these, as you do story modes, as you level up, you're also going to get something called reputation. Reputation right over here, you guys can see I'm level 56. Reputation allows you to increase your keys that you use during battles, your keys that you use during missions, gates. At the same time, every time you level up your reputation, you're also going to get 2 custom rate up tickets plus some essence stones. And the way you level up reputation is simple. Level up your characters, do your story modes, do your gates, etc. Easiest way to do it, right? So reputation will just naturally evolve on its own, but make sure you are maximizing all your keys to get the max amount of reputation out of it. Okay, this is my free-to-play account, by the way, just for those who are there. Okay, so when you log in, the first thing you're going to want to do is do your daily activity funds. Now, this is your idle, essentially, your idle funds, okay? The way this works and the way this increases is whenever you level up your characters, doesn't matter what characters they are, you're going to actually increase the amount of idle gold you get and the idle amount of EXP you get. So it's very important, guys, to tier up your characters. You guys can see in total, my characters currently are up to 2,432 levels. That's adding all of them together, which gives me 10.6% gold per every hour, I believe, and then 10.6% EXP per every hour. So whenever I log in, I go ahead and claim. That is how this is calculated, okay? Just so you guys can see. If you want the special funds, that is also a package you need to purchase per month. I think it's worth it personally, but hey, spend responsibly. If you plan to be free to play, you're not going to buy this. This is my free to play account, so I don't buy it. And that will give you guys an additional 6 hours for free every single day, plus extra rewards on top of that, allowing you to sweep. Sweeping is free, not having to run an entire gate. A and S gates, where normally you can't do that for free to play. You can only sweep B gates and lower. All right, very important. So this is a very, very big part of it. Now, while you level up your characters, not only are you going to level up your idle, but you're also going to level up something called bonds. Whenever you level up a character or advance a character, you will unlock additional rewards based on the level that you've done. So you guys can see here, everything here that is given to you as a reward for leveling up Wu, for example, or Kang, and then you guys can see all the rewards that come with it. This is a big, big, big reward gift for you early on. Take advantage of it. Level up your characters. Take advantage of the bonds. You get a ton of essence stones, a crap load of gold, and a lot of resources to craft. So bond system is very important, guys, as is your idol. So leveling up characters are easier than ever now with the amount of gold they give for free and how easy it is to get these rewards. Okay, so leveling up characters, super, super important. So those are some of the things you definitely want to focus on. So once you start doing that and you've completed and hit a roadblock on your story mode, you're then going to start unlocking the Encore missions and instance dungeons. Now, these are two different keys. These keys here will give you access to 2 bosses, and they rotate every week, and this is only your hunter. So these little bronze keys are hunter battles only, okay? And they will allow you to fight a boss to get yourself the following gear. You can see all the sets drop. Now, there's different tiers for these. Each tier here will also give you guys a certain rarity. So it starts off with rares and heroics, and then goes away to legendaries here. Okay, so make sure you farm as much as you can and hit the highest tier possible. Once you get to tier 16, I believe it's 16. Is it 16? Let me double check. No, 15 I think even has it. 15? Yeah, it's 15 I think. No, 14 has it as well. Let me just double check to see where it stops. Hell, even 13 has it. All right, so maybe 11 is when it starts. This is all brand new, so I'm just trying to remember where. Yeah, okay, so it's not 11. It's 12. Okay, when you start hitting tier 12, you start getting yourself the top end sets called the curse sets. So there's the burning curse set. So there's the burning curse right here, which is a DPS set, the burning greed set, and then the burning blessing set. These sets are sets that used to drop in raids, but now they're in Encore. So you definitely want to push to 12 as soon as you can and start farming those, as well as some of the better sets. If you're looking at or looking for the best artifacts for the best hunters, go check out my tier list for the artifacts. I go over every hunter and tell you guys which hunters should use which artifacts for each one. So everything's fully covered in my tier list. I'll do an updated one eventually, but they're currently still exactly valid and exactly how they should be. So this is where you're going to use your hunters to do either or. Now keep in mind, Cerberus here drops gloves and boots, and then the spider over here, the arachnid, drops helmet and body. So if you're looking for the different pieces, you must do the 2 different bosses. And the same thing applies eventually when you get to this point to the instance dungeons. The accessories are locked until a certain point of your level. I think it's like 53 or something, or 50, and then you will eventually get yourself access to accessories, which Cargalog in here will drop, that's what I call them that for fun, will drop necklaces and bracers, and Egan, I think it's his name, Eberg, Egan, I called him Egan for some reason, Eberg, here will drop earrings and rings. So you must do both of them. Keep in mind when you are fighting these bosses, this is actually including, this will be hunters and SJW, so a full thing. Each boss has a weakness and also resistance. So make sure you look at the boss's weaknesses and bring those hunters and weapons to the battle and look at their strengths to make sure you know what exactly you need to do to bring them in. Okay, so we'll talk more about that very shortly. All right, so those are what other things you're going to unlock. This is how you get your gear. So you're going to be farming those for quite some time. In the beginning, you're going to ask Payne, should I bother leveling up rare gear or do I go to heroic and legendaries? getting to like level 10 to 11, level 10 to 15 is not a bad choice for heroics and legendaries in the beginning, just so you can farm higher end gear. But ideally, what you want to do is when you get to the higher end gear, that's where you want to put more of your resources. So in the beginning, you're going to farm like level 35 gear, right over here, like it'll be like level 35 here, and then it'll go level to 55 here. So definitely level up your 55 one. 35 you can go like level 10, 55 go to like level 15, and then eventually you're going to get to like the level 70s, 65, 70s, and 75s and 78s. That's where you want to actually maximize them based on their stats. Okay, if you need to know stats, I've done plenty of stats videos. Go check those out as well too. I have 700 plus guides for this game, guys, and it pretty much covers everything top to bottom. So again, we'll talk more about that stuff later on. Okay, so after you're done story mode, after you're done collecting your gear, the next thing that's going to unlock here is going to be the Battlefield of Trials. This is a very, very important place for resources and easy summoning, and great way to get your trophies. Now, we'll talk more about trophies in a sec. So definitely do both of these. There's a player version, which is SJW, and then there's a hunter version. Both are mimicked. One is just SJW, one is only hunters, right? So they will give the exact same rewards. Make sure you do this as far as you can possibly go. It'll give you custom draw tickets, gives you gold, gives you shadow essences, gives you essence stones, etc. Right? A ton of stuff. And the major thing again here, guys, you want to focus on getting yourself 3 stars. There, I got to go back and do this one and get 3 stars here. I've been missing out. And the reason why trophies matter so much is your trophy count here will go towards your weekly essence stones reward. So when you see, I'm number 4, right? You can see here I'm ranked number 4 as free to play on my server with 2,353 trophies. And every single week when the reset happens, I get myself 950 essence stones. If I put to 2,500, I can get myself 1,000 essence stones. So getting trophies and getting those 3 stars play a major role in here. So you absolutely want to push this as far as you possibly can go and get yourself those rewards every single week. The reset is on Wednesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for me, all right? So very, very important to make sure you get those trophies while you play the game. Another thing, every single day, do your daily missions, get your weekly missions out of the way. They give you a plethora of essence stones, plus experience points, plus reputation, and other things as you go on, right? So make sure, guys, you are getting this done every single day, every day. Completely to 100 points, and then also your weeklies as far as you can go. You can see the last weekly here is get a total of 100 daily missions 6 times, so you have to do 6 days of this anyways to complete this. Do not skimp on this. Always get this done. Just like any other gacha, always get this done, okay? Eventually, as you complete the chapters and go further and further and further, you're going to then unlock the Battlefield of Time. Now, this here is your competitive, quote-unquote, PvP mode. It's not really PvP. You're just competing against other players to get the best times on these bosses. This gives you some of the best rewards in the game, so make sure you do this. While you're waiting for these periods to end, though, you'll also have this challenge Battlefield of Time, where you'll have 5 tiers of bosses and enemies, which will give you guys rewards as you complete them, and then a ranking reward as well. This is a important aspect of the game. This will teach you to be better at the game and also help you maximize. If you want to know more on Battlefield of Time, there are some stipulations and rules that don't apply anywhere else. Go check out my video to see what those are, and it'll help you guys and guide you guys on how to get the best results as well as how it all works. All right, once you complete that, the next thing that's going to open up is Power of Destruction. This is a daily fight against a massive dragon called Flame Inui, in this case Pitch Black Flame Inui, and he is a different element every single day, except for the 2 days where he's non-elemental. You'll use SJW, and this will be your first real raid, and then 3 other hunters and your shadows. The 3 hunters actually are not controllable. They don't come in as support. They'll come in as actual raid characters. So all 4 of you will be on the field together, and you will do as much damage on this boss as you possibly can. And then you'll have a rank, right? And then your ranking will base you where you are. You can see I'm number 5 right now. This wasn't a very good day for me. And this will give you guys rewards for getting a certain amount of points, and then ranking rewards the next day. So very important to do this on a daily basis. There are some really, really good rewards, by the way. These little trophies here can give you guys essence stones, can give you fragments, can give you guys cubes, but more importantly, can also give you guys these tickets down here, which are the ones that help you summon. So make sure you do this every single day. Doesn't matter what your score is, just get it done. Try your best to get a higher score for better rewards. And then lastly, 2 sections you're going to open up is going to be the Battlefield of Chaos, which is your gem system. You unlock gems right over here when you finish chapter 15. Okay, this will not be available to you in the beginning, but this is a great way to level up your stats and get yourself the most amount of power through this. And then also, these are available two of these are available every single day, and they alternate every single day as well too. So keep that in mind. And then lastly, the Workshop of Brilliant Light, which is the hardest modes in the game, and these are your actual raids where you fight a monarch or a demon lord, etc., to get yourself cores. That's right, cores are a new part of the game, and this is something you won't be looking at until you're at least level 80 at the very least, and you have to be a certain battle tier, in this case 22, to even enter to do these battles. And we'll talk, you can check out my guides on these as well too to see how the battles work. Now let's talk about something else. When you've done unlocking all this, while you're doing this, you're going to want to do the challenges. So these challenges here are available to new players right away, and these challenges ask you to do specific things in the game. So finish this chapter, acquire 30 stat points, etc., 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 right? As you go through this and you complete these, every single completion will give you guys 10 summoning tokens. That's right, 10 summoning tokens, which means you can summon. As you progress, though, the game gives you free stuff as well. So you get a free SR character, for example. As you go through it, a free SR weapon, etc., etc. There's a dupe, there's another SR weapon right there. Eventually, you're going to get to the point where they're going to give you a free SSR weapon, and that'll be your first SSR weapon for free, and that is going to be the Scythe. Yes, the Scythe is still really good, and they actually give you 2 copies of it. So that'll push you to A1 Scythe once you complete Chapter 12. Get that done ASAP. That Scythe will help you through a lot of content and will help you clear some of the harder stuff. But as you level and get better things anyways, you'll probably end up using your better stuff. But challenge modes are great, and I mean a great way to get a ton of resources. More importantly, get your summoning tickets to get better characters and weapons along the way. So this is a must. As you are going through the game, always refer back to your challenges. Some challenges, even though you've done them, will not be checked off until you get there. So make sure you check and go to the newest possible challenge and then stop. Do not skimp on those. That is a lot of free stuff in your pocket. You don't want to miss out. All right. Once you beat Igris, you're going to also unlock your Army of Shadows. Army of Shadows are a temporary thing that you can use in battle. They're not permanent. They will be summoned every 60 seconds. But it's important to note that every single shadow you unlock has a specific element and stuff to them. I'm not going to go into shadows. It's way too detailed. Check out my Army of Shadows guide where I tell you which shadows to level up, which ones to focus on, what they all do, and the priority list is for them. But this is a very, very important place of the game. So for anyone who's a beginner, please go check out the Army of Shadows guide. Again, too much complications to go through. Now, let's talk a little bit about the main character himself and then talk about the hunters and why it's important. So first off, you have a stat sheet that the hunters do not have. This stat sheet will allow you to level up strength, vitality, agility, intelligence, and perception. The only thing you ever want to focus on here is strength and a little bit of perception. Okay, perception should hit about 85%. You can get majority of that from your gems, by the way. Some people say 99%. I still think that's a whale thing. My personal opinion on it with my own testing. I've done the testing. I've shown it. For me, that's just the way I see it. Majority of your stats will go into strength. The only time you ever want to change it into intelligence is when you do guild boss. And again, you can go check out the guild boss battle to see the reason why. I explain it there. So that's the first thing. Everything will go into strength for the most part, especially in the beginning. We'll talk more about combat power as well too, okay? So another thing to note, you can equip 2 weapons with SJW. In the beginning, you'll be only able to do 1 until you unlock his job. So yes, SJW does have jobs. He starts off with just regular SJW, then you'll get the Assassin, then you get the Night Lord, Necromancer, Monarch of Shadows, the Rebel Leader, and then lastly the Soul Shepherd, and a new job is coming. As you get these, you'll get new costumes, you get new skills, you get new ultimates, you'll get some more points to put towards your stats. So very, very important as you hit the milestones, guys, get this leveled up. You'll see a total power here. If you hit this magnifying glass, you can actually see all of your stats from top to bottom. Okay, so this is my free-to-play account again. So these are all my stats. The ones that matter most for SJW are attack, crit hit rate. Please remember, crit hit rate caps at 50% with stats. The rest to make 100% goes through passives and skills. This is your crit hit damage, another very important section. Defense penetration and damage increase. Those are your main stats outside of your elemental damage. So think to remember about him, as much attack power as you can. Max out your crit, max out your crit damage, and put as much into damage increase as you can. All right, now when it comes down to a couple other things that you need to know about him, he has 2 skills he can equip plus an ultimate. When you go into the skill section, each skill will have a regular skill and then runes underneath them. Runes will do special effects with these skills. Some of them have tied elements to them, some of them don't. So make sure you read these. Check out the best skill guide that I made for him that you want to focus on. I go through it completely thoroughly, and the top top skills that you want to actually get for him are all in there. So I'm not going to go through each one because it will take forever, but just remember, skills are super, super important. They're your bread and butter for damage, so you're going to want to definitely focus on a few more than others. You can level them up, you can equip them with different runes, and you will get these by fusioning. That's right, fusioning is the way to do this. There's a fusion section here, which gives you these little rune fragments. You will craft them. You have a success rate to get a certain one, whether it's heroic or rares, most likely going to be rares. And then when you get enough dupes, you will be able to use those dupes to get a higher chance at a heroic and then eventually a legendary. And the same thing applies to blessing stones. Okay, and we'll talk more about blessing stones in a second, but this is where you do it. Now, ultimate skill, you only have 2 in the game. Do not level up this one. All right, wait till you get the Truth Mutilate and then level that one up. We should be getting a new one as well too. So if you're a brand new player and you see the newest one, you're most likely want to focus on the newest one. Okay, so you'll want to level that one up and use your skill tokens towards that. Now, blessing stones. You'll eventually unlock all of these blessing stones. In the beginning, you will have one. It is this one here, and it's called the Daily Quest Completion. It'll be a rare. Well, essentially what happens is when you die, you'll come back to life, become immortal for a couple seconds, go back to 1 health, and then they'll give you X amount of HP back to give you a second chance, right? Can only be done once per battle. Once you hit a certain point though, you will start unlocking slot 2, 3, and 4. These are blessing stones. They will do a lot of different things for you and are a massive part of your DPS, survivability, and usability. So if you are looking to see which ones are the best, go check out my blessing stones guide, but these are super important. And where I showed you in the fusion section is how you get them, as well as other ways you can buy them and get them through chest, etc. We'll go through that in the shop. Okay, so that is very important to note. And then again, you can scale off of 2 weapons. You can see the weapons have elements, certain things you can do, etc. If you want to know the best weapons, go check out the tier list that is available to you guys at all times and up to date for the best SJW and Hunter tier list. Hunters cannot use these weapons. Okay, you can tell by the fact that it says player on there versus hunter. All right, SJW cannot use hunter weapons. Hunters cannot use SJW weapons. Very important to remember that. This little section over here is your skills and what you equip. This section is your artifacts. Like I said before, you will farm these, you will level them up. In the beginning, when you get lower end gear, what you want to do is you want to level them up to level 10. Don't push to 20. 20 is the max level, right? And you are always aiming for a certain amount of stats that you're looking for in each one. Go check out my guide for each character, including SJW, for what are the best artifacts that is available for you as well on the channel. And then lastly, the newest thing here they added is cores. Now the way cores work, and you won't need to know this for quite some time, is they are dedicated to SJW or specific elements. You will equip 1 core for body, mind, and I believe spirit, and each one will do specific things. So for example, this one gives you defense, attack, and HP, as well as a random substat. All right, if you want to check out cores, again, go check out the core guide. It is available for you in the channel. All right, now hunters. Hunters work a little differently, all right? Hunters have an advancement, a level, a growth, 1 weapon, plus other similar things that SJW has. So how does it work here? With hunters, you will level them up. As SJW levels up and your account levels up, you will also level up your characters, okay? So hitting the max level will give you guys all your stat increases. Advancements are the dupes that you get through your actual gacha system, okay? As you advance the characters, you will also get their passive skills. So these are passive. These are very important to read and understand. If you want to know how each character works, go check out my character showcases for the one you're looking for. But for example, at A0, which is just getting a base Cha, this is what she offers you. When you get her 1 star, the effects change. When you get her 2 stars, the effects change. You get 3 stars, the effects change. Once you get up to 5, you notice that this is the last change to her passives. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 will give you guys a 3% stat increase to attack, defense, and HP, up to 15% for SSRs and 10% for SRs, okay? This will happen naturally over time, guys. Unless you're a whale, then you want to push. Again, check out the character tier list to see who you want to focus on. If you plan to whale, please whale responsibly and don't spend your life earnings on a game. Okay, I just want to make sure I say that again. So hunters, again, will have a section for their own skills, which you have to use hunter tokens to level up. And again, you can check out for each character showcase to see what you should focus on. But essentially, it's basic attacks, basic skills, special skills that you support SJW with in his battles, QTEs, which is when you come in with the character doing a specific move, their ultimate skills, and their passives. You cannot level up their passives, but you can level up everything else along the way, and they will take a certain token to do so. So keep in mind, you cannot, as a free-to-play player, focus on everybody. Be very smart and resourceful on who you focus on. All right, and then of course they have the same artifact setup here, and then they have the same core setup. Hunters have their own craftable or event weapons that they can equip specifically for them. I will tell you this now. The stats can apply to any character, but the passives only apply to the character that it should be on. So for example, Cha-Hyin's exclusive weapon can only work for her. If you put this on, let's say Gun-Hee, for example, he will take advantage of the stats, but none of these passives will apply. So it's very important to remember that, and these weapons can be crafted in the craft section right over here, okay, with a certain amount of tokens and tickets that you need in order to get it done. When there's a character in the event or the rate up banner, they usually have an event that is available to them where you can craft their weapons by getting a certain amount of resources. Best time to do it. Or you can craft the characters using these red hunter exclusive weapon designs and a certain amount of power crystals. All right, so this is where you will get your character's weapons, and the same thing applies with SJW's weapons and your hunter weapons. The more you dupe them, the higher these passives become. The biggest difference is the character weapon, the hunter weapons don't have skills. So you just advance them. There's no skill leveling up, which is actually really nice. So that is how hunters work. Again, if you want to check out how hunters are in terms of their usability, check out the hunter tier list that is available. I will say one quick thing. Whenever you see a sword here, that is a DPS melee. Whenever you see a mage icon, that is a range mage DPS. Whenever you see a shield, that is a breaker, usually aka tank, someone who takes a lot of hits and breaks the break bar. And then you'll see an assassin here with a little knife. And I believe there's supports here with the little heart and the wings. Okay, so those are the current different classes. Oh, and there's a couple archers, rangers right there. Okay, so I think that pretty much covers all the classes. All right, so there you guys go. Make sure you check out the tier list to understand what each one does and where they belong and what you should be going for. All right, that takes care of our hunters. We've done SJW hunters, Shadow of our Army game modes. Now I want to talk a little bit about weapons. So weapons here are important. Weapons give you elements. Weapons give you guys certain things you can use. Some of them are support weapons. Some of them are DPS weapons. Some of them are overall weapons for universal usage. As mentioned, the Plum Sword, the Grimoire, the Moon Shadow Daggers, okay? So what do you do with weapons? What are your focus? So for SJW, the weapons are simple. You get your top 5 weapons to A5 as soon as you possibly can. This took me about 180 days. What's my login? Let's see. Where's my login information? Sorry, one sec, guys. Where's achievements? Here we go. You can see where you logged in under common. 170 days. This is taking me 170 days to do as a free-to-play player. I got the 3 best universal weapons to A5. As mentioned before, there are a couple honorary weapons, such as the West Wind, which let me complete the entire game without any SSR. Well, I mean, not any. I had the Plum Sword. There are some SSR weapons that work really well together with SR weapons, but there are very strong SR weapons to help you push early to mid to end game content without the usage of any of these. Now, the main thing a lot of people are going to ask is, Payne, what do I do with my weapons? Well, the main ones you plan to use, you want to level to minimum level 80 in the beginning, and when you have enough resources, push them level to 100. You don't have to level up your other weapons for quite some time until you unlock your armory, and we'll talk more about that as well. Now, weapons work the same way as hunters. The more advancements you get, the passives will also increase. You guys can see here, Moon Shadow Daggers, for example, at A0, advancement 0, just 1 copy, does this effect. At A1, advancement 1, does this effect. 2 this, 3 this, 4 this, 5 this, and then when you get to 7 to 10, or 6 to 10, again, it's 15% increase in all the stats: attack, defense, HP. All right, so that's how SJW takes advantage of those. Remember, in the beginning, you can equip 1 weapon. After the, I think it's the Shadow Lord or whatever class, you can equip 2, or is it Shadow Lord? I think that's what it's called. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to remember it's been so long. Let me go back. After Necromancer, Night Lord, sorry. After Night Lord, you can actually equip two weapons, okay? So very important to remember that. So that's how weapons work. So get the main weapons. I would focus on maybe 3 or 4. Get them to level 80. Early game, mid game, more than enough to push you. When you start having enough resources, push them to 100. All right, now I did talk about something called the Armory, so let's go to that real quick as well. Oh, same thing, by the way, applies to hunters for their weapons. Do the exact same thing. Get them over to level 80. You can push SR hunter weapons as well. I have a guide on which SR weapons to focus on, but ideally you want to get your SSR weapons as soon as you possibly can, okay? And those, again, are craftable. Now, salvaging weapons, very important. Once you've done duping all of your rares, and I highly recommend duping your rares, and the reason why you want to do that is there's an achievement actually here where if you dupe your SSJ's weapons, you can get yourself a ton of essence stones right here. See, advanced Sung Jinwoo's weapons 300 times. Do that. get your rares to max, and some rares are actually going to be very useful early on and very powerful, especially because you get the bonus in terms of stats and precision and the advancements, right? So get your rares up, use them for a little while. Once you get SSR dupes, you can start salvaging your rares, but always maximize them first. Use your gold to do that for SJW specifically to get yourself way more gold. Never, ever, ever, ever salvage weapons until they're maxed. Specifically SRs and SSRs, okay? And the reason why specifically for SSRs more importantly than anything else is something called the Armory. You'll eventually unlock this little Armory mode, okay? This will give you guys more battle power to use in your combat, okay? I'm gonna talk about battle power real quick and how it works, because this is something that's gonna confuse a lot of people. When you get into a battle, okay? Let me just get into a battle real quick. You guys will see a battle total team rating and a recommended rating, all right? You're gonna hear this a lot. Red combat power, white combat power, blue combat power. What does each one mean? Well, when you're in the white, that usually means you're close to the recommended total power. If you're at the recommended total power, there's 0 penalty to your stats, which means you're going in at 100% of what your stats are. When you're below, there's a little bit of a penalty. Even if you're a little bit of the faded white, you're still going to get a small penalty to your stats. That's going to be your crit damage, your precision, your crit rate. If you are in the red, you are suffering a big penalty. You guys can check out my video and I'll show you guys exactly what that penalty is, but it's massive. So when you are in the red, so let me go into hard mode for a second. Let's find something that I can be in the red in. Is this in the red? It's not. So we can remove these guys. Okay, let's just form this team. You guys can see I'm in the red. That's the red CP, combat power. When you're in that, every stat goes down almost up to 30%. So you're not going to crit as much, you're not going to hit as much, you're not going to, your precision's down to nothing. So very important to try to get yourself above that red zone in almost every possible way. The Armory helps you do that. The Armory actually does not give you any possible stats to your character, but it does increase your total power so you're out of that penalty zone to maximize the amount of damage you do and bring in your proper stats. So that is the purpose of the Armory. Essence stones should be used here to unlock these. Originally, that was not the case because we only had 1 page, so it was a lot easier to unlock these with the marks of time. But now, because we have 2 pages worth, you absolutely want to use your essence stones, guys. I know it sounds crazy to use these because these marks of time are very, very hard to get and acquire, and they're more rare than essence stones. So get yourself your essence stones and unlock this as soon as you possibly can. And then while you're leveling these, level them 1 at a time. Level 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, etc. And then work on 2, 2, 2, 2 across the board. Once you get to a certain point, you will start using different marks of time. There'll be marks of times level 2, and these are going to look like this. Okay, so after level 3 or 4, I believe, you start using mark of time 2. So start collecting both, but unlock those with essence stones. Okay, very, very important. So that is what the purpose of the Armory is to get you above, give you more combat power to get you above that zone. Now, let's talk about something else. Let's go with, we did draws already. Let's go with the shop. This is important, okay? The shop is super, super important. This shop here is essentially your pay-to-win shop and your free-to-play shop. This section here is free-to-play / pay-to-win. This celebration pack currently exists. There's 2 different currencies, Essence Stones and the Premium Diamonds. These are what you purchase. If you are a purchasing player, the first thing you want to do, guys, is purchase these daily growth supports. Plus, on your mobile phone, get yourself the Hunter Pass. Very, very important to get the Hunter Pass because that will give you access to special summons, which means you can summon 30 times and get yourself a lot of SSRs plus auto mining and some extra perks. So those are the 3 main things I would spend my money on if I was going to be a spender. Also allows you to sweep gates for free up to 10 times. That's A and S gates. They take a long time to do. That's going to be your primary focus. And then this over here gives you guys some extra gold, essence stones per day. This won't give you a custom ticket, okay? So that's where you want to focus on. New hunters. These starter packs are amazing. Great starter packs. Go for those. Starter parades, also really good packs. Some of these are absolutely worth it, so go for that. And growth missions, these are also very, very good. So this entire new hunter section is worth picking up. Specials. The relay packs are huge. These relay packs are amazing and should always be purchased whenever you have the opportunity. They're the best ones in my opinion to get. Level up packs are also pretty damn good. Cost little amount of diamonds if you are a spender, but are worth it. And double ups are great as well too because they'll double your diamonds after you've done getting them here in the diamond section, okay? So very, very important. Now, mission ones are also really, really good too. These are, as you progress through the story, will give you a ton of gold, resources to summon, etc. So these are usually pretty worth buying, especially early on, but please again spend responsibly and make sure you don't overspend. But this is a really good spot. I've already done a spender's guide. Go check it out. You can see exactly what's worth it. I won't go through this in thorough detail, but that essentially is it. The free-to-play players though, This exchange shop is where you're going to spend most of your time. Whenever you summon, you're going to get these little tokens, red ones for summoning extra characters or just regular characters or any dupes. You'll get those. These are the hardest things to get. The blue ones are for some resources here that you want to use it on. Again, I've done a guide for this, what to use it on. Go check that out. Weapon materials, whenever you salvage your weapons, whether they're SR, SSR weapons, or rare weapons, you're going to get 2 different tokens. The mana imbued ingots or the regular traces of dimensions. These will be used to get yourself resources here as well. You'll be using this quite a bit. Mana crystal exchange, this is from your mana mining section. Your mining section. This is going to be happening every time you finish a mine. You'll get yourself the opportunity to get keys here, melding cubes, extra elixirs, etc. So this is very important, guys. This will be a section a lot of you free-to-play players are going to focus on and spend a lot of your currency here. All right, rock paper scissors. This is an event that's currently going on. Events will go here as well. Proof of the strong. This is when you're doing above and beyond the level 21 stuff for instances and encores. This is just miscellaneous things you can purchase, really meant for dolphins and whales, but some free-to-play players like myself have taken some advantage of it. And then Battlefield of Time exchange. This is again where you'll do your Battlefield of Time when you've beaten a boss and the Battlefield of Time rewards are provided. They'll give you guys Mark of Times here. I think that's what it's called. Medal of Time, sorry. And then Mark of Time is the other stuff. And then you can get yourself these resources for free. Very, very important. This is some of the best resources in the game. All right, so free-to-play players, you want to focus on there. All right, let's move on. Remember, there's a lot of content here. Find yourself a guild as soon as possible. Get yourself a home. If you have not joined the Discord, go check out my Discord. We have 10 guilds. They're always recruiting. I'll check out Zaf's Discord as well. That is an affiliate of ours. You guys can probably find a home. But as soon as you're ready, join a guild and you can get yourself a ton of stuff. Guild missions are available daily, which you'll do all your daily stuff anyways. Weekly missions are available. You'll do a guild boss every week, and then you'll be able to exchange your guild tokens for specific prizes, including a free SSR weapon, mana extracts, weapon tickets, etc. Based on where your level is for your guild, that's what's going to open. At first, it's very minimal. You'll get the weapon tickets at the very least, but then eventually it does open up and give you guys other opportunities to get other things, plus a buff for other content, including the guild boss. So get yourself into a guild ASAP. ASAP. All right? Very, very important. All right, guilds are done. Challenges we talked about, missions we talked about, achievements. Work on your achievements. They'll just happen naturally over time. Just keep playing. You'll get the achievements. You can focus on a few if you want. For example, advancing Sun Jinwoo's weapons. That's an easy one to do. Focus on that one. Get yourself essence stones. All right. Your codex, same thing. As you collect things in the game, your codex will fill up. As your codex fills up, you'll get essence stones and gold along the way. Very simple. Naturally happens. Managing teams. You can set up various teams here in different formations. Name them different things and have them ready for whatever content you want to do. Very straightforward. You can do it for players and for hunters, by the way. Okay, so 2 different modes right there for you. Let me go further in here. Bonds, we talked about bonds, leveling up your characters, advancing your characters, they'll give you access to that. Crafting, let's go a little bit more thorough into crafting. There's 3 sections for crafting. There's actual crafting for resources, so you can get yourself solidified stones, for example, for cores. You get elixirs for leveling up your characters. These mana rocks for getting SSR weapons, Mark of Times, skill scrolls, etc. This section here, you're going to use mostly to level up skills and get yourself access to core stuff / hunter weapon skills / hunter skills / hunter weapons. Okay, the SSR section is where you can craft the hunter weapons, plus now you can craft 2 other weapons. You can get the Demon King daggers by collecting 4 of these special player designs, which are super hard to do for free to play. You're probably never going to have 4 of these for a very long time. Whales, easy to do, or the Truth Demon Knight Spear, which you can get from your guild battle. So these are 2 SSR weapons for Sung Jinwoo, and the rest are craftable for your characters or your units. Okay, you guys can see here there's SSR units, and now they have access to SR ones as well too, which you can level up early on and get access to their premium weapons and start using these instead. Okay, so super cool access to that, and that is essentially the purpose of crafting. All right, let's go over here for a second. We now have fusion. We talked about fusion, right? You can get yourself access to skill runes plus blessing stones, and then as you get more of these, you can unlock the heroic and legendary versions of both. And then at the bottom here, we have the gems. Gems are going to be something you'll unlock after chapter 15, and these are going to be usable for your gem section, which I'll talk about very shortly. And I have a full gem guide as well too. Okay. Now, dispatch mining team. This is again the mining that you'll do after your gates. So make sure you always mine, never leave one untouched. You're just spending resources for no reason and not using them. Special commissions. As you play the game, you do gates, encores, bosses, etc. You're going to have these little bosses, enemies, etc. that you can see the count of how many you've killed, where to locate them, etc. As you kill them and proceed through you know, enough of them, you'll actually get yourself essence stones right here. You guys can see I'm almost at level 3. And then as you progress through here, you'll get yourself some tickets. Super easy to do. Just play the game. That'll naturally fill up on its own. All right. Let's see what else we have here. The Armory we talked about. Hunter preview. Whenever a new hunter is out or existing hunters that were in the raid up banner, you can go back and test them, play with them, use them, and then you can get yourself some currencies along the way. Very simple stuff. Nothing too crazy, but again, gives you some access and chances to try them out, right? All right, battle tier. This is an important one. Battle tier is your total combat power that you can get currently on your account, okay? And as you increase the battle tier, you're also going to get yourself some resources, usually 300 essence stones and 10,000 gold. As you increase the battle tier, your characters will also go up. The battle tier essentially tells you what your best characters are in terms of combat power and what the highest level the game thinks you can get. You can manipulate this quite a bit by adding fluff power. So for example, putting in like artifacts that don't make sense, but just because they're higher artifacts will give your characters higher power to get yourself more of these achievements. Battle tier serves one purpose. Outside of that, it lets you into WOBL as soon as you hit tier 22. Okay, very important to remember that, but you definitely want to focus on that and get it up and take advantage of those resources. Now, the gems, as we mentioned, chapter 15 will unlock. The red gems are your attack and healing given gems. Check out my gem guide. This here is your defensive gems. This is your mana and speed gems. This is your crit damage, precision, and your defense penetration gems. These are your healing and your HP gems. Again, check out the gem guide, fully walks you through it, tells you how to get the best power out of it, what the best gems are, etc. Okay? That pretty much will be your main thing at the end to get the most power. Now, the rest of this is all going to be fluff. Combat, costume codex is all your costumes you've collected. The forums, of course, the forums to get help. Tutorials is not bad to do just to go through it. They give you 10 essence stones after each one. Just click this arrow super quick and go through it all, get your little gems and get that out of the way. And then last thing we can talk about here is the Hunter Archive Library. Now, this is going to be each character's main storyline. If you want to know more about the characters, you can do it. But more importantly, each character, well, some characters have something called a secret library. Once you've done the Hunter Archive, this is a great way to get essence stones and just see the storyline. But when a secret library opens up, you can get yourself some rewards. Let me move myself up. Go back here. Click right here. You guys can see here, each tier reward will give you something, and at the end, you get a free costume. All right, so make sure you are doing all of these Hunter Archives. I've completed almost all of them up to this point. I think I only have Harper, Charlotte, and GINA left, but the rest of them are all done. You guys can see all the rewards that are provided, plus you get yourself a lot of essence stones along the way. These right here mean something. So if you use Hansimi, you get 55 points, her weapon 22 points. If you have Libora, you get 14 extra, and her weapon plus 5. That will go higher as you advance those characters and level them up, okay? So there you guys go. That essentially is everything you need to know in a nutshell about the game as a brand new player, and help some veterans as well too. In this little lobby here, make sure you check out the characters that are here. Sometimes the brand new character that is going to be released comes out here before they're released, so you can see who's coming out. Plus they have these little bubbles when they're in yellow. Go talk to them. You get yourself a measly 5 essence stones, but hey, it's something, right? It's something better than nothing. Also, a couple things to note: costumes do not affect stats. The only costume that ever affects anything is going to be the SJW costumes, because they give you extra things like total power increase, stats, etc. But that's the only ones. Every other costume is just literally for the use of costumes. A couple of resources I want to talk about in the resource section. Some of you guys may have received these when you started the game. They're worth using early on, but eventually some of you guys are going to get these legendary chests. Open them up. Always start off with helmet, boots first. Then I would go with bracers. No, hands, then bracers, and then whatever else. Oh, rings, then bracers, I should say. Sorry. So those are important. This is all of your stuff that you have collected here. Make sure you check out those. These are your extra traces of shadows that you can increase your shadows with, plus any extra data that you have to advance your characters. I gotta advance him. This here is all the extra gifts that you have from your codex. Easy to see. These are the skills that are kicking around, etc. So none of this really matters, to be honest with you, because all this stuff is going to be usable in the game through the specific sections, whether it's achievements or fusion or crafting. Don't really sell anything. Really don't sell anything. Like, there's a sale button here. It's never worth it. It's never worth it. All right, so let's talk about the biggest cruxes in the game. Where is going to be your biggest challenge in the game? First off, EXP. Some of you guys are going to hit EXP roadblocks. You're going to say, Payne, what do I do? Patience. Do your idle, do your gates, all of them. Do as much story as you possibly can, especially hard mode and regular story. Reverse mode does not give experience points. Gives you a ton of gold, okay? So speaking of the next crux, gold. That's going to be a big one early on. Do as many gold gates as you possibly can. For you pay to win players who are struggling with gold, there's an easy, simple section to solve this problem for you. And that is under the, I believe, special section. There is a growth support, I believe, right there. And this will give you guys these little 12-hour gold activity funds. Use those. You'll never run out of gold. Literally, for pay to win players, okay? So make sure you do that. For anyone else who's pay to win, also remember you get yourself a weekly coupon. Use those towards the diamonds if you plan to buy them. Again, please spend responsibly. Lastly, there is a section right over here that we went through. I just showed you guys the mailbox, right? Always check your mailbox. All the free stuff comes here. All the pay to win stuff goes here. There is another section here that's important. Outside of that is these two sections here, all right? The first one is going to be your battle pass. Battle passes are super important for pay-to-win players, but also free-to-play players. Us free-to-play players will get advantage of the full rewards at the top. A lot of them are going to be free rewards, such as the custom tickets, the essence stones, resources, etc. Always maximize these. Once you've maximized a hunter pass, the rest of it becomes gold. So this is gold. Once the hunter pass expires in 6 days, I'll get X amount of gold for finishing this. So do these every single day. Don't forget them. Also, events. There are always events going on, always, and I mean always. This is very important. Do every single requirement for every single event. Never miss events. They give you so many rewards in this game. The devs are extremely generous. You will always want to be doing events and stay on top of them. Never ever log out until you've completed every single event. You don't want to miss out on the freebies, guys. They are absolutely worth it, and they are a huge portion for free-to-play players' advancements. So make sure every single one of these are done every single day. Unless you've completed them, then you don't have to worry about it, okay? So very important to do that. Events are in this section. Never, ever skimp on them, guys, okay? This is, I'm telling you now, the generosity of these devs are incredible. They're one of the best gacha devs I've ever seen, and I continue to praise them for that, and I always will. And hell, it's Netmarble. That's really hard to say for a lot of companies. And then lastly, guys, right over here in the redeem section, there's a redeem code section. This is where you get the codes from us as well as the devs. For iOS players, you have to go to the website to do that, to redeem your codes, but that is essentially it. I think I've pretty much covered everything from top to bottom. If you are looking for combat tips or any other guides, please go check out my guides. I have 700 plus guides for you guys, and I'm telling you now, anything you can possibly ask for, you will find in those sections, whether it's combat tips, whether it's character showcases, whether it's tier lists, whether it's raids, whether it's story mode, what weapons are the best, what weapons to use. I have it all. This is Payne. Thank you for watching for 1 whole hour. I'm also bald. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.